welcome everybody to Suzuka for round 2 of the 2024-2025 Club 100 iRacing Championship. The first appearance of the year for the MX5 Cup cars with the familiar format of 3 25-minute races, but something new for the Club 100 iRacing Championship is that for the first time in series history, we have wet conditions, and this is going to spice things up big time for all the drivers out there. Myself, Andrew Mather, and Howard Mitchell on duties tonight in the commentary box. Howard, can you hear us? Barely. You've started doing your Rob Brydon small man in the box thing again. Apologies there that we're having those there's technical issues at Howard's end, but he'll still be pressing all the buttons as well for showing us timed qualifying, which has begun. Lone timed qualifying, and this really is a bit of a journey into the unknown for the drivers out there. Sopping wet track. The drivers were not helped as well by the fact that the 90-minute practice session that kicked things off tonight was bone dry, so these conditions have really come in the last 20 minutes or so. This is on your screens Tim Penny going out for his, well, not flying lap at the moment, very wet reconnaissance lap, getting up to speed. First lap times are going to be very important for the drivers as well. There's only 8 minutes for the drivers to get 2 flying laps in, so if they don't have a reasonably quick first lap out of the pits, there is a risk that they could actually miss the end of the 8 minutes altogether. Good solid field again here tonight, like we had for round 1 in the GT3s, where we had over 40 cars at some point out on circuit. Tonight we've got about 35 drivers in for proceedings here at Suzuka. A number of new runners as well, who we've not seen before. And a quick rundown of the format: 3 times 25-minute races. The first grid will be determined by this timed qualifying session. Everybody running out together in either the Premier, the Clubman, the Intermediate, or the Rookie category. Those in the Premier category will have the red number boards and details on their cars. The Clubmans, like Tim Penny here, will have the blues. The Intermediates will have green, and the Rookies will have black for their car details. Points all down to overall position, and slightly different scoring tonight in comparison to the GT3 race earlier on in the autumn 2 weeks ago that kicked off the season. It's a case of still, if you have a perfect night, it's still maximum score, it's still 240 points, but it's a third across the 3 races. So whilst last time 120 points for a race win, tonight it is 80. Not missing anything at the moment, so lap times just starting now for flying laps. These laps also, if they're not successful for the drivers, they will at least give them a bit of an inclination as to what the track is doing ahead of the first race of the night. Good evening to David Whitehouse. Hello to Angie Norris as well. Here's a quick sight of Murray Adams from Scotland, so he should be pretty used to wet conditions. Racing in the C2 champion livery from last year's championships, now in the Clubman ranks. There's a change from last year if this is your first time back with us since 2023. The C1, C2, C3 class structure has been modified to now be Premier, Clubman, Intermediate and Rookie as mentioned. Effectively, your top C2s have joined into Clubman. C1 has been split into Premier and Clubman. The others of the C2s are still there in Intermediate, and then the C3s are straight like for like your Rookies. I heard Discord go bing, so hopefully that means Howard's back with us. Howard, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. We can indeed.
There we
He's
go.
alive, ladies and gentlemen.
I am. Hello, everybody. It's fun. It was never going to be a smooth entry, was it? It's me on the stream right now. But yes, hello, everybody. Delighted to be with you all again. And isn't it fitting? Isn't it fitting that that the first time we get wet weather, we are using the stalwart MX5 that we've had since the very beginning? That seems quite appropriate to me.
It is absolutely indeed for all the drivers out there. Here on your screen at the moment is Sam Sanders. We didn't see Sam in the GT3s last time out. That was mainly because he was doing some F4 racing in one of the Motorsport UK's series. But Sam has got a, well, appropriately, if he's not going to be running in the GT3 events, has got a half entry because he won a out of season prelude event to half qualify for this series. We should also say, whilst we're getting some times in, Adam Brown has gone quickest at the moment. Big announcement for the Club100 iRacing Championship 2024-2025. Those of you who will have seen the Club100 2025 news that came out on Monday will have maybe thought, hang on a minute, endurance is no longer a thing. What is going to happen to the prize drives in the Club100 iRacing Championship? Have no fear. The negotiations have happened. The Premier, Clubman and Intermediate class winners will all get a free run in an SP40 race next year. So that is the replacement prize that's even bigger and better than before in terms of value. So big thank you to John Viger and everyone at Club100 for helping us out with that. That'll be formally notified in one of my championship bulletins in due course, in a version 2 of the regs. But that's the thing that we can now reveal. The embargo is lifted. SP40 is in. Endurance is out for 2025. And 3 of the drivers in our field will be getting a free race in that championship as a prize for their efforts here in the iRacing world. Howard, times at the moment. I really am thinking this is going to throw up some unexpected results tonight, and it's one of our debutants who's top of the timesheets. Is he still there? I don't know if he's still there. Time is coming.
Still here.
Oh, you are still here.
Debutant at the head of the timesheets. It is Adam Brown, sat in the pit lane right now, not in our top tier class, but at the top of the timesheet right now.
Is indeed. Kieran Harrison is up there again. I will note, Kieran, you're running a legal livery. There's no red for Premier on your car. That's going to be a paddling. He'll just get a penalty point on his, a suspended penalty point on his licence. It won't stop him winning the race. But he is top of the Premiers at the moment. Top of the Intermediates, Matthew Davies, who had a very, very good run in the GT3s, is currently top of the Intermediates, 12th place overall, and actually ahead of a couple of Premiers at the moment. And that's what this night's going to be, I think. Saying that, Joao Castro has just gone in and gone 10th overall. A driver who's raced in the Club100 Junior Championship right at the end there has just sneaked in and got P10.
Yeah, brilliant effort, and I think you're right, mate. That is what tonight is gonna have in store for us, isn't it? It's gonna have plenty of surprises in these uncertain conditions.
Let's have a look at the grid then for the first race of the night. Adam Brown takes his first ever Club100 iRacing pole position. Kieran Harrison alongside on the front row. Josh Mitchell and Murray Adams on row 2. Josh Mitchell had a very good run at Silverstone in the GT3s with the top Clubman runner on that night. Matt Kendall and James Haviland row 3. Sam Sanders and Adam Delmont row 4. Adam Staten, a brilliant qualifying from Joao Castro, first of the Intermediates there on row 5. Jack Eyre and Sam Spinale are next up to the Clubmans there on row number 6. Moving down to the next flurry of drivers. On row 7, Matthew Davies and Joel Julius, another 2 of the Intermediates there, have out-qualified Finlay Brunton, who is another strong runner in that class last time out in the GT3s. Mike Hart is 16th on the grid in his first appearance of the year. Henry Friedman and Ollie Davies on row number 9. Tom Dix and Cody Cosford on row 10. Tim Penny and Harrison Chapman. Chapman in his first run there on row number 11. Chapman, the first of the rookies. Matt Hale and Adrian Goodwin start on row 12. Next up on the 13th row of the grid, Matthew Shawnee and Aidan Bliss. Craig Brown and John Adey on row 14. Dan Gamblin and James Fremont complete the top 30. Simon Delamere and Lawrence Vines start on row 16. Yusuf Binter Hale and Sam Dimolo due to go from 17. But I think for Dimolo there's some technical problems there. Tom Holland and Eric Mignon start on row 18. 36 cars ready to go here at Suzuka. Little bit of history for the Club 100 iRacing Championship. The first ever wet Club 100 iRacing race. This is what the drivers asked for, Howard. They wanted the weather to be turned on. It struck them with a bit of a vengeance.
It certainly has. A classic place for the rain, of course. This is going to be interesting.
Lights about to come on here at Suzuka. Round 2 of the Club 100 iRacing Championship is go. Good start there from Adam Brown. The big test first of all. Can they all make it through the long run, down towards turn 1, and make it through with his puddles each and everywhere through this corner? It's going to be very, very tricky for everybody to make their way through. It's looking nice and calm at the front of the field. Brown leads, Harrison P2, Josh Mitchell there. He was running the caramel livery 2 weeks ago in the GT3. He's got the Iron Brew out for tonight. Henry Burdett will be very pleased at that one. He's running there in 3rd place. Murray Adams P4. Sam Sanders has had a good start, is 5th. Matt Kendall, 2nd last time out, is in 6th place. Meanwhile, towards the back of the field, there's already trouble for Aidan Bliss. Aidan Bliss in the wall. That's down at turn number 3. He's going to be having to tow back to the pits. Didn't quite see what the cause of that was. And this is going to be a big part of this race, Howard. It's almost very BUKC-ish in nature. If a driver gets around unscathed tonight, they're going to get a good result.
Yeah, absolutely. It is like the sort of BUKC or back when you and I started, Andrew.
Back in the day.
BUKC rookies, as it was then. You know, it was the classic thing of if you keep it on the island, and you may very well be able to get yourself a top 10. It's kind of that feel to it at the moment. Although I have to say, remarkably, you know, clean and decent start so far from these drivers in these challenging conditions.
Absolutely. So just here on the first lap, going into Spoon Corner, one of the fastest corners here on this circuit. It's tricky enough in the dry, never mind. Do you know what I'm getting straight away here, Howard? I'm getting Japanese Grand Prix 1994 vibes. I'm expecting Damon Hill out there in a stopwatch race to see who's going to take victory here. End of the first lap is approaching. That's a right old reference for anyone who's tuned in, who's less than 18 years of age.
Please don't get me to work out the results that way, though. That system was horrendously complicated.
Oh, indeed. Kieran Harrison all over the back of Adam Brown here. This is for the race lead, heading into the Casio Triangle for the first time. There's a problem for the Iron Brew car. I think Josh Mitchell has lost a couple of positions there. Adam Brown is going to lead a lap of the Club 100 iRacing Championship for the first time, though, as there's the Clapham North car of Matt Kendall trying to come through. Oh, I spoke too soon. Kieran Harrison has got his nose ahead, so technically on the lap chart will have led at the end of lap 1 and does lead at the end of lap 1. Seeing through the gloom, what's going on in the other classes? I can see João Castro is still running in 11th place. Great start for the youngster. He's got Mike Hart on his tail at the moment. There is João Castro. In fact, Mike Hart's not on his tail at all. It's 1.5 seconds behind the blue and green car, the 210. Quick note on the car numbers. Anyone apart from those who were finished in the top 10, in fact, let's start with that one. Top 10 runners from last year's championship. Oh, as round goes Castro. That's Yusuf Binter Hale. It's another sky blue car with a green roll cage, but it's Yusuf spinning there at turn number 2, the Milky Cereal. Oh, there's another car off. It's Craig Brown in the Heineken 241, who has turned round, gets going again, but falls all the way down to 33rd place. I think we've also had problems out there for who else is sat in the pits? I think we've got
Aidan Bliss and Adam Delmont are both in the pit lane at the moment. I think Eric Mignon might be lower down than I remember him being as well. So there's a few people who are having issues out there as we catch up with Tom Dix joining them. As he tries to put a move there. I think that was on Matthew Davis he was battling with there. No, sorry, Tom Dix is fine. It's Simon Delamere, apologies, who went round there.
Yeah, I think Joel Julius was also in a spot of bother further down the order. Has got going again in that red and white liveried machine. Again, that's how tricky it's going to be tonight for the drivers, and we've only seen 5 minutes of this race. Yusuf Spin Sahel, yes, is definitely in true effect tonight. Now we're having a look at Sam Spinell, and Sam Spinell, BUKC champion in the past with Coventry, the Leaning Tower of Hertfordshire, as we used to call him many years ago. Should be pretty handy in these conditions, Howard.
Yeah, I seem to recall he wasn't at all too shabby in these conditions. Castro ahead of him just had a real heart-in-the-mouth moment through Spoon as well. Just managed to gather it up and avoid a spin. Although all these cars at various points are looking like they're right on the limit of adhesion, Andrew, because there's not a lot of adhesion out there.
No, not at all. I see just a little bit ahead. I think that Adam State was going for a move on Josh Mitchell. Well, last time round, in the GT3s, Kieran Harrison galloped away from everybody. That's not going to happen tonight as we go on board with Adam Brown down in towards turn 1 to start the 3rd lap of this race. Lap times at the moment in the 2-minute 41s for the front runners. As Kieran Harrison's a little bit wide there. He's going to be in trouble. Surely he's just going to have to do the big kind of wall of death around the outside. Loses the lead to Adam Brown, but at least keeps himself in the race, pointing in the right direction. Howard, that's the same corner where Kieran Harrison had a clash with Josh Ladd in an F4 race part of this championship last year. I don't think he's going to be a particularly big fan of turn 1.
No, that was a low-key brilliant save, though. It didn't look like much, but the fact that he's still that Kieran Harrison is still pointing the right way there, albeit he's lost the lead, is actually highly impressive. So yeah, we've seen he's got decent pace to challenge Adam. So you know, there may still be well, there's very likely, I would have thought, still going to be opportunities here. I don't think this one's run yet.
There was trouble there. Adam State's in bother. Adam State is in bother. One of the front runners, second last time out in the GT3s. Well, that shows how tough the conditions are, that even the premiers are having trouble keeping it on the island. Adam State falls down to 19th place. There was another car off the road there. I think it might have been Aidan Bliss, if Aidan Bliss has come back out of pit lane. Let's have a look at what happened to Adam State. He was having a look down the inside of the Iron Brew car with Josh Mitchell. Contact between the two of them, and that is going to be a big thing here tonight, Howard. Little touches like that normally you'd get away with in dry conditions are going to be a problem tonight.
Slightest tap and you'll be going round. And Adam State now on a bit of a recovery drive. He's getting by Adrian Goodwin there in the yellow liveried car, but yeah, it takes the lightest tap and you'll be going round. I mean, it's hard enough when you're not going side by side with cars in these conditions, but yeah, it really is quite the challenge as things are close again for the lead here, although that's a nice line through 130R from Adam Brown, but it's ebbing and flowing between these top two.
Adam Brown, who was consistently in the top 10 in the GT3s at Silverstone 2 weeks ago. If you missed that round, you can go and watch it back here on the DDMM YouTube channel. And this is kind of, I think, the first demonstration of the season, Howard, of why the drivers quite like this multi-discipline format. Yes, they're both under the sports car discipline within iRacing, but racing a GT3 versus racing an MX5, very different prospects indeed.
Yeah, totally different characteristic of car in many ways. Yes, as you say, they are on that sports car track.
Oh, that's going to be
what we're talking about. Oh, and he's hit Castro as well in that spin, so they're both round, unfortunately.
Yeah, both of them went into turn 1 side by side there, Castro and de Havilland. There's trouble for Mike Hart as well, who's got damage on the rear left. I think he was a bit of an innocent party in all of that. Mike Hart on his first appearance of the season. Yeah, the rear left is not moving at all. That is going to be either a very, very slow recovery to the pits, or even getting the car stopped in these conditions is difficult, and Hart will tow back to pit lane. So that takes another 2 of the front runners, the early on front runners in this race, out of things. Finley Brunton is up to 9th place, the brother of Fraser Brunton. The thing has got the is that the Teenage New... Oh, I can't say what the words are. That show that I watched a little bit when I was a kid, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'll get there eventually.
That wasn't for licensing reasons, folks. You just can't say
I just can't speak.
Crucially up to the class lead now with
yes.
that issue for Castro.
Yes, indeed. So Brunton now P9. Look at the spray. Look at the spray coming off the back of the cars. Honestly, believers, ladies and gentlemen, it was bone dry at this circuit 2 hours ago. Well, in fact, not even 2 hours ago. The rain came in just at around 7:05 UK time, so 45 minutes ago. And this is the thing, the drivers haven't had a lot of practice in these conditions, even within the meeting's free practice time. For a lot of them, this may well be the first time they've driven these MX5s in heavy rain conditions.
And in that sense, Andrew, I'm still pretty impressed, I've got to say, by how it's broadly going. Yes, we're seeing spins, but we're just seeing light bits of contact. We're not seeing what one might have feared, shall we say, by way of incident so far.
Well, there was a test race of the wet conditions in the GT3s at Silverstone about a month ago, which, in a way, showed a lot less examples of contact between different cars, because I think everybody was just trying to keep it pointing in the right direction. So in that way, it can calm things down. But yeah, the moment we saw ago, well, thankfully for de Havilland and for Castro, they're still running in this race. They've fallen to 11th and 12th. The question would be if they're running with any damage, because we did see that contact between Castro and Mike Hart on the recovery. In fact, Castro's losing time here. I think no, he's not gone into the pits. So, once again, turn one. It's so tempting for the drivers, isn't it, Howard, to kind of throw it down the inside or go for a move side by side into turn one. But that's the second example where we've seen maybe a little bit of caution is needed.
Dare I say it, very often, you know, yes, obviously nobody wants to make contact, but there can often be a bit of a driver's mentality of, well, go down the inside, and if they have to, you know, suddenly dart out the way to avoid contact, then woe betide them, I get the place, right? There's that slight thing. That's not the case here. If you mess this up and generate contact, it's more often than not reflecting back on yourself. So it really is a really no contact. You can't, if you have contact, you will more often than not be facing the wrong way by the end of it, and it's probably going to end in tears for yourself. So it's tempting, but the drivers have got to try and be more measured. So much about wet weather driving, Andrew, is psychological more than it is physical, right? And that's true in a sim as much as it is in a Club 100 car on the road.
So we're on the 5th lap of this race, about halfway through on the time. This will, of course, run to 25 minutes. There is João Castro, still doing very well. We should point out in terms of overall position, second in the intermediate class, but clearly damage on the front left of the car there. And well, Yusuf Bin Suhail's back up to 16th place. So that kind of shows how many drivers have had some level of trouble out there, Howard, that a car that we saw spinning in the very early stages of this race is now back up into the top half of the field.
Indeed, and I think Castro's got problems that we can see he's got damage. I think it's straight line speed is really his Achilles heel. The way that Bin Suhail has been able to reel him in for second place in class here, remember, is, oh yeah, we're going to see him now. He's just sailed past. In both meanings of, in all meanings of the word, sailed past in these conditions. But that was very easily done for Yusuf Bin Suhail to take himself up to 15th place and second in Inters.
I think we've seen a change for the lead. Kieran Harrison is back ahead of Adam Brown. There it is. But it looks like Sam Sanders has started to close in there as well in the black and orange FFR machine on board with Sam Sanders now. There ahead of us is Adam Brown, Rethink Racing Mazda with the blue. I see how much lateral movement the drivers are trying to get and how wet it is on the inside of the corners. I'm sold, Howard, already. Why didn't we turn the weather on earlier? We were a little bit cautious during the BUKC iRacing Trophy when it was first brought out by iRacing earlier on in the year, and of course it was fully dry for the GT3 race at Silverstone, but this is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it is highly entertaining. We did have our reasons for that with the BUKC iTrophy.
Well, we thought the PC would blow up. That was the reason why we didn't put it on.
Yes, I wasn't going to say it, but yes, that was basically the concern. But yeah, this is proving highly entertaining as these drivers struggle around the classic car of this championship, a classic circuit, and a different level of entertainment value, I suppose you'd say, with these conditions. And we've got a 3-horse battle for the lead. What more could you want?
Indeed, they're about 4.5 seconds clear of Matt Kendall in 4th place. Sam Sanders has got a good turn of speed along the road. Oh, is that a car in trouble? Yes, it's Dan Gamblin. Dan Gamblin has had an incident out there. That is coming through. Where was that? Oh, we'll have a look in a moment. So it's off coming under the bridge after the Degners.
Oh, he's already had an incident. He's already damage on that.
He's already had damage, probably through onto driver's right. And there we go. That is going to be Dan Gamblin for now in the pits. They all get a fast repair each for these races. This is going to get interesting. 130R in the wet. Oh, huge catch there for Sam Sanders. Can he keep it out of the gravel? Yes, he can. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sam Sanders, you are a lucky, lucky boy. Caught the grass on corner of entries. Adam Brown's gone deep through the Casio triangle. That's surely going to let Sanders back through. But that was a very close moment to seeing the number 3 seed from last year, Howard, have a big, big off.
Yeah, heart in the mouth stuff right there. It's, yeah. If this was an older configuration of Suzuka, I don't think he'd have had that much tarmac off to play with. So lucky indeed.
What it means is that Kieran Harrison is now out front by 2.2 seconds. This will be a test of the nerves for both Sanders and Brown, because the racer's temptation will be there, Howard, to start pushing harder to close that gap down.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is the interesting one. We've got battles further down here. Tim Penny versus Matthew Davies.
Matthew, oh, that's not going to go well. That's going to be both cars off the road. Penny into the wall, Penny out of the race, and out will go Matthew Davies as well. So it's turn 1 that seems to be catching the drivers out. It looked like both of them weren't quite aware of each other's surroundings there. And that is the end result. They will get to race, of course, in races 2 and 3. But again, the trouble with the format for the drivers, if they have a problem in race 1, they've got to drive their way back through the order now.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It really is coming true what we were saying, though, isn't it, Andrew? We've seen it with Yusuf Bin Sahel. If you keep it on the island, there's some really good results in store here as it currently stands. So yeah, the drivers have just got to focus on that control. I have to say, these must be a particularly fun car to do this in, though, I've got to say.
Tell you what, Yusuf's got some real pace in these conditions. He's just gone past Murray Adams there as if he's standing still. He's now got James de Havilland as his next target there in the 157. Could I say, we're going to get some surprises tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of drivers are going to find new things out about the drivers joined the series or have returned. In the case of Yusuf Bin Sahel, he's been away from the Club100 iRacing scene for a couple of years. Has got back into the rhythm of things, although I think he's just had a bit of an internet wobble there. I hope that's a temporary blip for Yusuf Bin Sahel and that he's I fear he's just had the Nathan Maximum treatment of I was praising him, and his internet may have gone a bit disappearing-y because he's fallen down the order now. Back further up the order, Adam State and James de Havilland. This is the fight for 10th place. As round goes State. Round goes State into the wall. Easy as that. Gets back going again. He's now sat in the middle of the road. He's got rear right damage. That's going to need towing back to the pits, surely. It won't be a very long tow back to the pits. The trouble is he's got no drive. He's got no drive with a broken rear right, and that's another one gone.
Yeah, yeah, it does just underline how tough these conditions are at the moment, definitely. Adam was driving so well, and yeah, just the slightest thing is going to upset your race at the moment. As Yusuf Bin Sahel goes by another driver now past James de Havilland. This is a brilliant drive from Bin Sahel.
So he's still alive. He's still alive. He's not been yeeted from the lobby yet. But he's getting the back end of that Mazda MX5 ND race car out a bit, but it's clearly working for him because he's now tearing through this part of the field. He's got 12 seconds up to find Ollie Davies. So effectively, we've got 9 drivers who in the space of 20 minutes haven't had some form of major issue. Testament to them that have been able to keep it on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
Here's Sam Sanders. P2 right now, but it does look like he's closing in, Howard.
Yeah. It's all the times like last time around. Yeah, they are gaining, aren't they? A little bit on Kieran Harrison. I wonder if well, they're not. It's not for want of pushing, is it? That's using all of the runoff that you dare in these conditions. Indeed, even in dry conditions, that's as much as I would use through Spoon. But good run through Spoon there for Adam Brown. They are eating away at Kieran Harrison's lead. So, to what extent have they got their eyes on that, and to what extent do they feel like battling? Right now, they feel like battling. Once again, heading towards 130R. No, Adam Brown thinks better of it this time around. This is that the Sam Sanders. Oh, he's still going wide though. He's still going wide.
Oh! Both of us took a breath there. I thought we were going to see the number 3 spear into the side of the 116. That was very, very close indeed for Sam Sanders, who most likely will be picking up off tracks with that. There's a limit of 17 incident points for one of these 25-minute Mazda races. As through the gloom, there was your race leader Kieran Harrison on board with Sam Sanders now. Adam Brown, is getting a little bit frisky through turn 1 and 2, but is somehow managing to find the grip there. They've got the gap up to 4.5 seconds again ahead of Matt Kendall. Jack Eyre also, we should mention, number 5 seed from last year, but a Clubman driver. That's why he's not, the seeding is why he's not running a triple-digit number with the 1 at the front. He's doing a really, really tidy job in 5th place.
I'm just enjoying being on board with the drivers through the infamous technical section. You know, the S's at the start of the lap. It's just fantastic to watch the drivers going through there. I mean, you say that Adam Brown, his car was getting a bit frisky on the rear. He's making that style work for him really well. I say, as he nearly puts it in the gravel there. But it's really, I'm really enjoying just watching the drivers deal with this.
It's good to hear that you are, mate. I'm wincing. I'm wincing at what's going on out there. It could be going wrong at any moment. Here's a bit of progress with João Castro, who I just wonder whether it might be a good idea to get that car in the pits, as there is a scene of just how wet the pit straight is at the moment for the drivers. Well, it's probably not worth him coming into the pits now because we've only got a minute and a half of this race to go. But I think he has lost a bit of time there by continuing round with that damage. But at the same time, he'll have a solid starting position for race number 2. back with the battle for, briefly for second place. Finley Brunson, this is a brilliant run. This is a really, really good run from Finley Brunson. Going side by side with Sam Spinale at the moment. That's going to get tight on corner exit from Spoon, but good racing between Spinale and Brunson there. They gave each other room. Coming onto the long straight now towards 130R now. Chaps, you really are going to have to give each other room for the next corner. And are they going to yield? This is one of the longest waits ever for us to get to 130R. Spinale's held it round the outside and kept it within track limits. Well, they made it work. I'm not quite sure how they made it work, but they did.
Oh, I don't know how any. But I think they did it. And more battling through 130R now. This is Yusuf Bin Sahel, James de Havilland, and Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Stays as they were, but dramatic stuff here in the spray.
And that'll be another new thing for the drivers in terms of iRacing experience, dealing with the spray. It's not something they've possibly had before. I say even by iRacing standards, this is quite the deluge here at Suzuka. Still, this battle for second place rages on. Adam Brown and Sam Sanders. This will be the last lap of the race. So it'll be 10 laps for the drivers. The results from race 1 sets the grid for the second race tonight, which will be again 25 minutes. In possibly even wetter conditions than this. How many cars have we still got running, Howard?
32 by my reckoning. Some of them are a lap down, but we've got 32 cars circulating.
Not bad at all.
Actually, no, wait. Make that 33. No, it is 32. Sorry.
No, 32 after how many did we start with? 36? It's not bad. Not bad at all. Here's your race leader, Kieran Harrison, who, if you can get round this lap, normally that would be me saying just to cover myself in case something incredulous happened. But even tonight, I think for Kieran Harrison, it's not a given that he's going to bring it round this final lap. If he does, it'll be a third race win in a row to kick off the new season. I don't think it necessarily means that he's going to dominate for races 2 and 3 either. Adam Brown and Sam Sanders' pace has been good. They've had their own minor moments, which is the main part of why they're 3.7 seconds behind. Here is Sam Spinale trying to find a way past Josh Mitchell. I think Josh Mitchell will be very pleased with this result if he can get it through to the end, Howard. 6th place, another top 6 to go with the 2 4th places that he had at Silverstone.
Home. Speaking of bringing it home, Kieran Harrison. Oh, Kieran Harrison's off the road.
I said it wasn't a given that he's going to get to the end of this one. My, oh my, the Leedsby UKC driver nearly drops it out of 130R on the last lap of the race. It's going to take a win, the first ever win of a wet Club 100 iRacing race. He takes it by 3.4 seconds. Which makes it sound like he dominated again, but my, that was a very, very close run thing to the end. Adam Brown, P2, best results of the season so far, as there's problems in the last couple of corners. That is Ollie Davies' half going round through 130R. I think Murray Adams was involved. Henry Mackenzie Friedman's going to go through. So Brown wins in Clubman. Sanders and Kendall P2 and P3 in class. Jack Eyre and Spinale on the race podium in class. Finley Brunson comes home the top intermediate in 8th. Yusuf Bin Sahel from the gravel trap finishes P9, second of the intermediates. I think your winner in rookie quite possibly is going to be Matthew Shawnee again. Shawnee, who got some good results in as Castro nearly drops it out of 130R as well. Real problems with aquaplaning, I think, through 130R for the drivers. John Adey's going to get a good result. 16th place. And again, drivers who were finishing outside the top 25 at Silverstone, Howard, getting their best results of the year so far, heeding the briefing notes of keep it calm, keep it on the road, and they're going to get some good points.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Matthew Shawnee coming home as the highest place of the rookie class. 20th place, top 20 finish there. Really good effort from Matthew.
And to give the big context of that, it's not just a win in a rookie. It's not just a top 20. He's beaten 2 premiers home there.
Oh yeah.
Adam State and Mike Hart will make it over the line 25th and 27th. But again, they're no slouchers, experienced drivers on iRacing and in the MX5s, and even they found it tough in that first race of the evening. Well, what a spectacle! What a scene here at Suzuka. That's just race 1 of 3 tonight here for the Club100 iRacing Championship 2024-25. What have we got to say about that, Howard?
We do this because we like the racing, folks, but we also do it for good heart health.
Do we?
Well, they say do. What is it? Do things that excite and get the heart racing, keep yourself healthy. That race was. I mean, our nerves are shot, but our hearts are healthier.
If you say so. We're going to go straight back into it because race 2 is going to kick off in a few moments' time. And as we say, well, this one could be even more dramatic because now we've got a very jumbled up grid in terms of what we saw in qualifying pace. Kieran Harrison has pole position again. Adam Brown alongside on the front row. Sam Sanders and Matt Kendall, row 2. Jack Eyre and Sam Spinell, row 3. Josh Mitchell and Finley Brunton on row 4. Brunton pole position in intermediate. Yusuf Bin Sahel showing that you can come back from an incident in these conditions will be on row 5 next to James de Havilland. Murray Adams and Henry Mackenzie Friedman will be row number 6. Ollie Davies and Joel Julius, row 7. Tom Dix and John Eady, row 8. Lawrence Vines and Craig Brown, row 9. Matthew Shawnee and James Fremont on row 10. Matt Hale and Harrison Chapman on row 11. Tom Holland and Adam State will be on row 12. Look out for State coming through the field. Joao Castro and Adam Delmont on row 13. I think Castro had a penalty on the last lap of the race. Mike Hart and Adrian Goodwin inside the top 30, completed by Delamere and Gamblin. I can hear the revs rising, Howard, which would indicate that we are good to go racing. Yes, we are indeed. Away we go for race number 2. Let's do it all again, folks. I think the conditions are even worse than they were at the start of race number 1. It's a good start for Adam Brown. He's going to lead into turn 1 for the first time, but no, spins, contact with Harrison. Who's that going to take? It's going to take Sanders with, and I think Matt Kendall got involved there as well. Too much speed into turn 1, and straight away, one of the favourites of this race in big trouble. Sam Sanders is still continuing, but completely missing the front end of his car. Surely he's going to have to pit.
Surely he's going to have, surely compromised straight line speed at the very least. The damage was far more significant than, for example, what we saw with Joao Gabriel Castro in the previous race. He elected to keep going. Surely, as you say, Andrew, surely that can't be the case this time around. As early on, we've got a nice little battle here between two of, in some ways, the stars of that first race. Finley Brunton and Yusuf Bin Sahel have capitalised on the first few bits of drama there. We've got Adam State off the road. Mike Hart is off the road as well. Two of our Premier class drivers who already had a bad time of it. And Craig Brown already doesn't have the front bumper. That's another one we missed. Still lots of drama. I think you're right, Andrew. The conditions are worse than they were in race number 1.
I tell you what, Yusuf Bin Sahel might be a bit of a dark horse here for a race victory, because given the pace that he had in the first race, he could get onto the very front of this field. I think there's problems for Matt Hale, or Matt's just having a bit of a Wednesday night cruise out there. When he'd probably be well advised. It's terrible conditions out there for the drivers who are just trying to keep it on their island. Once again, whoa, off the road. That's going to be a big off. That's going to be a big off for Joao Castro. The runoff saves him. He's going to get back on to circuit. And a long, long way down the order. There is Yusuf Bin Sahel, who I'm going to tell after this race meeting to change the base blue of that car, because it looks very much like Joao Castro's colours from far off. Yusuf nearly does the exact same thing that we saw Sam Sanders do in race number 1 and gets away with it into the Casio Triangle for the first time. There is
Adam Brown.
Yeah, there is Adam Brown in P13. Surely Sam Sanders is heading to the pit lane if he's not done so already. James de Havilland looks like he's moved up a couple of positions. Howard is there up to P8.
Yeah, he's not gone to the pit
Oh,
lane.
okay.
Sanders is very much not in the pit lane. He's going to keep going.
This is
that is an odd sight.
This is the Matt Hale strat. Oh, was Adam Brown round there through turn number 1? Yes, he was, and he's had contact with Ollie Davies. Ollie Davies becomes the latest driver to ditch the front bumper. Don't need one of those. Just carry on regardless. But the bonnet's up as well. That's definitely going to be at an aero disadvantage. And yes, Davies is going to pull off and tow to the pits.
There's all these drivers that you're saying, those aren't regulation liveries. Okay, I'll strip off the body panels then.
But technically, there's none of the mandatory stickers are on the front bumper, so it's fine.
That happened in a British touring car race years ago to Gordon Shedden, I think. He was given the black and orange flag for loose bodywork. He hit a tyre barrier and instantly removed the flapping bodywork, and they retracted the mechanical.
Oh, Murray Adams. Keep it clenched. Keep it out of the wall. Oh, that'll do. Yeah, still pointing in the right direction, only lost about 5 places.
You know, the commentating's quite easy when it's just us making involuntary noises. But it's that kind of thing, right? And this is what it's like. This is what it's like for the drivers, right? They're constantly. And this is what I mean, Andrew, when I say it's psychological in these conditions, because the amount of attention that you're having to do to control the car. I mean, when it's normal conditions or dry conditions, you know, you come out of the sim feeling, you know, mentally quite tired sometimes, particularly if you've done a long stint, right? And then somehow it just gets multiplied in these conditions as we watch Sam Sanders with no front bumper nearly getting past Henry Mackenzie Friedman, who takes a liberal approach to the racing line through Spoon Corner, but manages to keep it pointing the right way.
Tom Dix had a bit of a wild one there as well. Sam, if you can hear it, mate, your front clip's completely off. I say if his pace isn't too bad and he's holding track position, then, well, yeah, maybe the right thing is just to stay out there, pick up the points, go again in race number 3, because there's no reverse grid. I'm so glad we didn't put reverse grids. Other people say don't put reverse. You put reverse grids on in this? Are you crazy, people who suggested that one? And well, for Kieran Harrison, he's quite happy to just sit here at the front of the order. He's got the clearest vision ahead of him, but now has got Jack Hare to deal with. Jack Hare closing in to less than 3/4 of a second behind the reigning champion. This again is a very good drive.
Yeah, very much so, and once again, carrying on the theme of, you know, we said that the order might get a bit shaken up. That's not to take away at all from Jack, but once again, Andrew, we've got 2 different classes, right? Prem and the Club, and battling away at the head of the field here, as we had in race number 1. And, you know, rain can be the great equaliser in many ways, although it's always the paradox of rain, right? It's the great equaliser in terms of pecking order, but then it's also really separates the weak from the strongest drivers out there. So it's the great paradox of wet weather driving.
Adam Naffer in the chat says reverse gridding this would have been hilarious. It won't be hilarious doing 6 hours of judicials. Oh, Yusuf's off. Yusuf bin Sahel in the kitty litter. There was another car involved there as well. Didn't quite catch who it was. But Yusuf's charge to the front has, well, ended. Well, let's have a look at... Oh, he just did it on his own. He did it on his own, and he took a prisoner with him, which was Henry Mackenzie Friedman.
Yes, who I think was able to get back onto the track, and is now running in 9th place.
Well, there we go. That's another one to mark onto the spin chart for you. I'm joking, of course.
What it does mean is that Finley Brunton is... I think he was running behind Bin Sahel when Yusuf spun then, so puts him back up into the class lead in Inters.
I'm just going to come back to my point on reverse gridding. Judicials. I would not want to be sat there for 6 hours working out all the judicials of a reverse grid typhoon race. No, not doing it. I'll put entry fees up by £10 a driver if you want it to happen. How about that? Anyway, it's still going on. 8 minutes of this race have lapsed. Sam Sanders is still out there without his front bumper, and has lost a position there to Henry Mackenzie Friedman, running wide at 130R once again.
It'd be terrible if Sam just thinks he's not quite to grips with the conditions as much as everyone else, and then finds that the front's missing.
I say, I'm just looking at lap times. 2:42 is the best for Sam Sanders. Which, yeah, if he comes in, he'll lose 35 seconds or so. Yeah, in terms of the long game, it's probably better to just stay out there and try and work up the order later on.
Oh, this is close between Joel Julius and Adam Brown. Adam Brown trying to go round the outside, and he does so. That is a very nice, bold move in these conditions. Slightly more doable moves around the outside in wet conditions, of course, but that doesn't make it any less impressive, particularly when you're talking about turn 1 at Suzuka. So, decent move there from Adam Brown in what is a little bit of a recovery drive of sorts after drama right at the start of the race.
Good news, we have in-writing volunteers for judicials. They're now contractually obliged to help. Fantastic. Well volunteered, Adam and David. Well, David kind of already had. Anyway, 9 minutes of this one gone. Here is your driver in 10th place, Adam Brown. Well, Sam Sanders is the next driver up the road. A little bit further down the order. We saw trouble for Mike Hart earlier, didn't we, Howard? But it does look like he's still net gaining from where he started this race. It's the battle for P20.
Yeah, indeed. Adam State is the other Premier Class driver who we saw having issues, and he's a little bit more in no man's land at the moment, but Mike Hart able to get stuck in here in the battle to try and bring himself back up into the top 20.
That's not going to be
well.
Adrian
Goodwin ahead of him, and that's round for Goodwin.
I think that was an application of your theory from earlier, Howard, of like stick it down the inside and scare a driver off the road. There's no contact, so
yes.
technically it's fine. It's legal.
Yes, I know what you mean, although I think, yeah, it was Goodwin pushing, wasn't it? He's definitely felt the pressure and got his wheels on the curbing. This is a fun little battle. Friedman de Havilland and Sam Sanders the noseless, as he. I need to work on the name. I'll work on it.
Through 130R once again, about to finish lap number 4. Based on what we saw earlier on, this will be another 10-lap race. There's problems for Tim Penny. Problems for Tim Penny. Now, that looks to be... Where is that? Is that down at Spoon Corner? Yes, it is. So Tim Penny will fall down the order to P25 as we have a look at a replay through the chicane. That's our two race leaders, Kieran Harrison and Adam State, going through the screen.
Yeah, just lost it. Just could not get the turn in until such a time as he had way too much turn in. And the rear just stepped out. This is the battle over 14th place. Drag race down the start-finish line straight between Spencer Hale and Delmont. Goes the way of Spencer Hale, but that's too much curb, surely, and he'll go round on that one.
Half goes round, now gets overtaken by Joao Castro. Yusuf, if you're watching it later, please make that blue darker. Bring back your navy blue that was metallic and looked lovely, because then I can tell you apart with young Castro there. Through went Tom Dix as well. So Yusuf Bin Zahale now in P16. He's definitely still got some speed out there.
Yeah. Going well. Just needs to be careful. And that
Yusuf.
doesn't... That's why you need to be careful. That's Tom Dix off the road.
And everybody saw that.
Yes.
Moving on. We're on the 5th lap of the race.
That was a slightly incriminating. That one wasn't a commentator's curse.
No. Anyway, right, 12 and a half minutes of this race have gone. 12 and a half minutes of it to go. Here is Henry Mackenzie Friedman up behind the Iron Brew 154 of Josh Mitchell, heading towards Spoon Corner. Friedman had a little look left. Mitchell moved to the left. That's fine. Oh, Friedman trying to do the cutback. If he makes that work, that is a lovely, lovely move. He's going to be side by side on the second half of Spoon Curve now as well. Props to that. That is a beautiful move by Henry Mackenzie Friedman. That was going on for 2 or 3 corners.
That was gorgeous, wasn't it? And you could just sense at the point where those sort of lines converged, there was that nervousness about the touch, and ultimately that benefited Friedman on this occasion, I think. But yeah, beautifully set up. Switchback move. Why, it almost looked like a dry weather move, that one. It was beautifully executed there, and takes Freeman up to 6th place. And Josh Mitchell.
Oh, problems for Finley Brunton. Oh, he's just about saved it. Sorry for cutting across you there, Howard. But Finley Brunton again just catching the grass. I want to give a Spirit of the Race award to Sam Dimolo, who is having his last, has been watching this, and he's going to have one last attempt to get his PC working. Why on earth he would want to come out and join this, I do not know. But fair play. Whoa, Brunton's had a problem there. Friedman as well. How have they not ended up in the kitty litter down at turn 1? I do not know. My, oh my. I think that was just on the brakes. I don't even think that was, there was no contact involved.
I'm just going to go with James, on board with James, to have a look at the back of this cacophony of cars in the chaotic conditions here at Suzuka. Oh, look at how much they're having to adjust. I know this is sort of par for the course for wet weather driving, but it's, you know, it's fantastic fun to watch with cars in front of us as well, through the S's at Suzuka.
I'm also just going to note here, BUKC drivers. Kieran Harrison, recent BUKC driver. Jack Eyre, not a recent BUKC driver. Oh, as someone's off up the road, it's Henry Mackenzie Friedman, who's going to rejoin the circuit hopefully in a moment. He is a BUKC driver of the last few years and current BUKC driver who's managed to... I'm just noting, Howard, there is a strong number of BUKC experienced drivers who know slippery conditions very well and surviving slippery conditions very well, all up in the top 10. 1st, 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th are all there. Matt Kendall drives these very cars in real life in a UK championship, so he should know what's up and down in wet conditions in a Mazda MX5. But yeah, showing again, the UKC develops good wet weather drivers.
Indeed, there is a correlation there, isn't there? Of I think statistical significance as Finley Brunton versus Sam Sanders down the back straight here. Brunton's going to go to the inside, is he, briefly, to try and deter a move? But I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure that Sam has got the most positive front end going through 130R.
No.
But
he's
he's starting it out though. As who was that at the side of the road? It's Sam Spinale.
It's Sam Spinale. Sam Spinale's had a problem, and has fallen down the. Where has he fallen down the order to? He's 4th. He's gone down to 4th. I thought he'd go. See, that's the other thing that I'm having to deal with Howard on this. I see people have massive offs and I expect them to fall down 10, 15 positions, and they're only losing 1 or 2.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not that big of a time loss. And, okay, it was just wide through 130R. Oh! He did well to get that back on the road. And in the end, it was just a cut through the chicane at the Casio Triangle. But, oh, that one got a little bit hairy.
Yeah, take a few 1Xs on that one and live to fight another day. Adam Naffer's absolutely right. The first BUKC test day of the year is this coming week. It's upon us already, everybody. I unfortunately will not be there because I've been invited to go to Lonato, where it will be decidedly warmer. It's a tough life. 17 and a quarter minutes gone.
Everyone's really happy for you there, mate. you enjoy Italy.
I've got to fly on Ryanair, everybody, to get there first, if that's going to balance it out a little bit. There, down the inside is Adam Brown. That's a nice move. That's 9th place from Josh Mitchell. But as soon as we say that, he goes a little bit too deep into technical number 2, and Josh Mitchell gets it back again.
Brilliant stuff. Nonetheless, good drive from Adam Brown here to try and salvage decent points from this race. Had a think about it then, didn't he? Into the hairpin, but thought better of it. He's picking his moments carefully here. Here is Adam Brown. Difficult situation to be in when you know you've got good pace and you just have that moment off the start that means that you're a little bit further down than you would ordinarily expect to be. But he's very much now battling away with drivers who aren't making it easy for him in these conditions, and that's wide for Josh Mitchell. He'll be able to gather that back up on the runoff. But yeah, well, move done for Adam now. That's up to 9th place. Every single move in these conditions is, you know, an inch from disaster sort of type moves here. High risks to all of these moves.
I've just checked the weather forecast for Lonato next week. It's going to be raining. Rock Cup, I didn't sign up for this. Signed up for 25 degrees in the middle of October. Not weather that I could get in Sheffield. Anyway, there's a race still going on. 19 minutes gone, 6 minutes to go. Finley Brunton, yeah, really good battle this. Finley Brunton behind James Verhoeven. Just to explain for returning viewers or new viewers, drop scores, still very early in the season, of course, but the drops are full complete rounds. So if you tally up all the scores from a race night, it's the worst full night that gets dropped, and it's one of the Mazda races, one of the GT3 races. Oh, there's a problem there. Oh, Finley Brunton just about gets it all together again. And then just to finish that point on the drops, then the next worst score, which so it could be their second worst MX5 race, it could be their second worst GT3 race, it could be the NASCAR race. It means that to kind of bank in good points that drivers have got earlier on in the night, Howard, they've got to see it through to the end. They can't go, well, I've had 2 good scores so far tonight, I'll go a bit wild in the third one, and if it goes wrong, that individual race will be a drop. Oh, that was Sam Spinell in the wall. That is very heavy crash damage for Sam Spinell.
Tough recovery.
So that looks like he's run wide, coming up the hill, and then put it in the wall. Let's have a look at what has happened here to Sam Spinell, who was running in 4th place. Yeah, he's just going to catch. Oh, that was later than I thought it would be. So I think that was a bit of aquaplaning just on the power, and that is a costly, costly mistake for Sam Spinell.
Yeah, that looked so innocuous, didn't it? I agree. It was really late on. I wouldn't have been at all surprised if he thought that corner was done and dusted. But yeah, I agree. He must have just hit a puddle there. And yeah, that's so frustrating for him. Good race that he'd been having. We have got drivers in the pits, by the way. Tom Holland's in the pits, Aidan Bliss, Matthew Davies, Cody Costard, all in the pits at the moment.
Yeah, real shame for those drivers. They will get another race, but they're going to have to start it from the very back. 2 more laps of this one to go. Kieran Harrison still leading, 3 seconds clear of Jack Eyre. Oh, Josh Mitchell's just had a massive slide through 130R. Had to really, really work hard at the steering wheel there. And somehow he's still side by side with Finley Brunton, and he's going to get through past Finley Brunton. What a move that is from Josh Mitchell up to 8th place. Adam Brown is in pit lane. Now, that is not a scheduled pit stop. I wonder, is that possibly too many incident points? 17 is what they get, and yet Adam Brown is driving straight through pit lane. I reckon that is an automated penalty.
Yeah, not too surprising, is it? It's well, I don't want to take away from the fact that too many penalty points have been accrued, but these are the conditions that can breed those conditions just a little bit. You know, the wide moments, and you know, having to sometimes bail out of a corner, let's say, that can just generate these. But yeah, that looks like the situation for Adam Brown there. Not quite as good a race as he had in race 1, but if there are any conditions for it ever to be worth keep going, it's definitely these ones.
I say he's come back out in 11th place, so across the course of the 2 races so far, he's still going to be pretty high up the scoreboard. Here is the fight for 19th place, and your lead rookie driver again, Matthew Shawnee. The Racing Flying Carrots on the move yet again. His teammate John Adey is 4 places up the road. Got to give it to Shawnee here. This is a very, very good drive. He's holding off 2 very experienced clubmen at the moment in the shape of Adrian Goodwin and Lawrence Vines. I think right now for Matthew Shawnee, say 2 top 20 places based on what we saw in the GT3s 2 weeks ago. That is going to be a healthy score for a rookie driver.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great performance from Matthew so far. One of the closer battles on track at the moment, because I have to say, very unusually for Club 100 iRacing, Andrew. There's a fair amount of, although again, the conditions make this not too surprising, but there's a fair amount of spread out there within the field.
We did see this in the practice race, and as Kieran Harrison goes on to what will be the last lap of this one. Be a 5 to 10 minute break after this race to give drivers a bit of chance just to turn themselves around ahead of race number 3. So they've done their timed qualifying and the first 2 races pretty much back to back. We'll keep the broadcast going, of course, with some of the comms highlights from recent times, and then be back for race number 3. On board with James de Havilland, that's Henry Mackenzie Friedman up ahead, and right now this would be Henry's best race finish of the year so far. I don't quite know where he's going with that line, but it sort of works. It's still there in 5th place. I think Henry is a little bit disappointed with the results at Silverstone. Wasn't miles away off the pace of the others. The biggest trouble for Henry Mackenzie Friedman right now is the influx of really strong clubmans who've either returned or are brand new, and there weren't many clubmans racing in the BUKC iRacing Trophy earlier in the year. What's happened to Murray Adams? This is into turn 1. Fine on the entry. Oh, bit of over rotation. Gets on the brakes. I think that's Tom Holland out there, just returning to the circuit. He had a go in the sprints last weekend at Shennington. As here is a spin. That's Joel Julius going round. If you've not seen it as well yet, Alpha Live's Fibre King Race of the Week. Club 100's Lightweight Sprints A final. Another race on Race of the Week with some DDMM commentary as well.
Lovely stuff. It was a good race.
It was a good race.
To be fair.
So last lap then, Kieran Harrison looking comfortable. Well, as comfortable as he can be in these torrid conditions at Suzuka. 4.5 seconds clear of Jack Eyre. What might have been if Adam Brown hadn't had that problem in the first couple of corners, where it's easy to forget that Adam Brown did lead into turn 1. Into the Casio Triangle for the final time. 2 races from 2, 4 on the spin now across the GT3 races and the MX5 races. Doesn't mean he's got tonight totally sewn up. He's going to have to do it again in race number 3, but Kieran Harrison wins again. It's going to be 4 seconds, the gap back to Jack Eyre. Brilliant drive from Jack Eyre to P2. Matt Kendall, P3, second of the Premiers. Sam Sanders, well, we were completely wrong. Didn't need to pit, didn't need his front fairing. He's going to come home in 4th place with a battered and bruised number 3 car there. Henry Mackenzie Friedman's going to be across the line in P5. James de Havilland second of the clubmans. Josh Mitchell 3rd. This is still a great scrap as well for 9th place between the 2 Adams. Brown and Delmont. They'll be side by side over the line and side by side on the grid for race number 3. Brown got that by 19 thousandths of a second. Joao Castro, third of the Clubmans. Finley Brunton second. Joel Julius gets a class win. Mike Hart, after problems on the first lap, is going to finish P14. Sam Spinale, who's missing even more of the front end of the car than Sam Sanders was, comes home in P15. Who's going to be the first of the rookies? Looks like it's going to be Matthew Shawnee again, who's going to beat out a number of other drivers here. This is a really, I don't know, it's 20th place. It may not sound like a lot to others, but for a rookie in these conditions to come home in the top 20, that is a magnificent result, nearly, for Matthew Shawnee. Matthew gets the line. I think he's just going to lose it to Tim Penny, but no matter. That is still a very good haul of points for Matthew Shawnee. There is Adam State. I think a true reflection of just how tough it is out there. The driver who was P3 at Silverstone 2 weeks ago and ran Matt Kendall very close indeed. He's going to be outside the top 20. That is a really tough run for Adam State. Other drivers yet to come across the line as well. Matt Hale, you can just see in the background there, in the G3 Pro 233. He's going to be P23. Tom Dix will be P24. Yusuf Bin Sahel, I think, has had problems on the last lap and has fallen down the order a lot at the end there. 26 drivers are going to finish, 25 drivers actually, are going to finish on the lead lap of this one. There is Tom Dix over the line, the penultimate one of those drivers. Simon Delamere will be in the top 25. So another win for Kieran Harrison. It just looks like even the Typhoon can't stop him, Howard. Apologies, I think we've lost Howard for a moment, or I can just about hear him. He's gone very muffled. We're going to take a short break here on the commentary. Be back for race 3 in a few moments' time. Can he hold that gap? Isaac Lord has got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis got the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essence, but he may. Oh, he's got the run! He's got a big move! Switchback by Weaver. Read it beautifully, saw it coming, kept the steering open, let Ben Davis come into the inside, and he still held on to the lead. That was brilliant racing by all 3 of them here, and I think that's going to be the crucial moment, because Joe Weaver, unlike 24 hours ago, is not going to need to do the overtake on the last lap. Joe Weaver takes the double in Senior Rotax Round 2 of Super 1 2022. Line on row 11, Jake Wilkins and Andrew Ravage on row 12, and then we'll have our 2 qualifiers from the B final. Bryn Albin and Dean Everest form up the 26 entries for this, the lightweight sprint A final for round 9 of the 2022 Club 100 Senior Sprint Championship. 12 minutes on the clock. Green light, great start for Mike Coppin, sweeps across the front. It's a hugely important race this for the championship at the start of the run into the end of the season. Coppin versus Brunton, early advantage, Howard, to Mike Coppin.
Yeah, absolutely. Last tour of the circuit.
White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hansen. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kelly Wright's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running though. It's not going to go under caution now. On the last lap, it's 3 of them. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Brendan at all. He's going to try and get the side trap working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. Is Sanders going to hold it? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the line. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. It's Preston. It's Michael
Stages of this race. Ross Witherow is digging deep again. Has got down to a 32.435 now. It's about a tenth of an. Oh, he's gone for it. Big send. My goodness me. Ross Witherow, brave as anything, on the brakes into the final corner, takes the lead of the race. That was a superb, awesome overtaking. Now is Ryan McGinnis going to respond back here? He's looking for the inside now. 6 minutes have expired. That came from miles back from Ross Witherow. Kevin Shine continuing to go round, by the way. Really, he can drive, he's just not got a lot of power in the number 22. And oh my God, round the outside attempting. That is an outrageous manoeuvre. Oh, we saw one lap ago. That was even better from Ryan McGinnis. And over the line to take the racing room, left by Whitefoot on the outside there. Good news for David Whitehouse, but he's got away. He just needs to get through Ascari chicane and Curva Alboreto, and he's got a great result here. Tom Dix is just holding in front of Steve Hicks there. Dix and Hicks at the moment on the outside of the top 10. They need to get up 2 positions if you're Steve Hicks to get on the front row for contact. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall goes Dix and Hicks. Through goes Ian Sumner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to live coverage on Alpha Live of the 6th and final round for Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland 2022. My name's Andrew Mather. Great to be with you here at the historic Kartbahn Vollen circuit on the 1st of October 2022. We're here in northern Switzerland for this season finale, and it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute cracker here today. Here's your circuit, 815 metres in length, 12 turns, technical, in its 60th year as well, 60 years of racing here at Vollen. The circuit established in 1962.
It's Michael Lenz. Oh, Michael Lenz, who had a great finish to heat number 2. Something has gone wrong for him there, and he is out of this race. That's a real shame for Michael Lenz. The driver he overtook for the lead on the last lap of heat number 2 goes by him. Samuel Ifrid, what a season it has been. He's going to finish it in the best way. The junior champion for the last 2 years was at Grand Final in 2021. He's going to be there again in 2022 as the senior Rotax Max champion. Samuel Ifrid takes the win here at Vollen. Kurt Wenger is going to take the win in Master Max.
Final lap of the 2022 Mini Rock Super Final here at Lonato. Captain's down the inside, going for the move into turn 4, takes the lead. Has he overshot? It's going to be side by side between the 2 AB Racing drivers as they approach turn 5. Will be advantage Captain on the inside, holds onto the lead, but Cosma Christopher is charging along, has closed the gap. This is not over yet. Kalea still there in second place. They're heading towards the last few hairpins now. Captain defends to the inside. Kalea still there in second. Cosma Christopher can smell that remarkable victory. Captain's still got the lead of this race. Has got to defend down the inside into the last corner. Get the drive off the final corner. Who's going to be Mini Rock champion for 2022? It's going to be Vivek Captain. And the title stays in North America for another year. Vivek Captain wins the lead of the race. Cook is still there in second. Carter's still there in third. They slightly banged wheels. Carter around the outside takes second place. One more opportunity. You've got to think James Roots is still in there as well for the race win. Grayson Wortley, he's got to defend down the inside into Wilkins. He's done just that. He's got to get off the corner. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide. Coming off the corner. Ronnie Carter's gone round the outside. Ronnie Carter becomes champion in the 2022 Super 1 Miami Bambino Championship with a last corner overtake. Have you ever seen a championship decided like that? What a race win. It's not going to be his first one of the year. Joe Holmes knows the situation. Richard Allen is going to win at Brookmore Park, but for the first time since 20... Flag about to be in the air. There it is. Eyes on those lights. They're coming on 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. The KZ third heat is go. Good start for Albanese. He's going to hold the lead into turn 1 ahead of Gustafsson. The rest of the field filing through. Good start down into turn 2 and turn 3. The race result because of Mottram's penalty, but Daniel Munro has had this titanic duel with Rory O'Regan this year. It wasn't Rory's day, but it is Daniel Munro's day. Daniel Munro wins at Rye House and is champion
for the second year in a row in a Club 100 Juniors category.
Yeah, and always going to switch back here to the inside. That's a beautiful move by Reed on the inside through Park. Showed a bit of a dummy there to Carl Garnett. Brave stuff from the championship leader. That's him up to third. Before, as there is Hugo Schwarzer out of the race. Well, we were talking about Slater needing to outscore Schwarzer by 10 points. As Charlie Hart's off and into the grass, catches it up, and somehow keeps himself in second place and pointing in the right direction. Fernandez has lost the position. I think it's Seaworthy who's come through into second place. What a moment.
Push on these tyres. We've seen it throughout the weekend that the Maxxis compound really rewards a driver, but he's going to have to take a lot of energy out of himself and the cars as we look at a replay here of Martinez and Leisen side by side into turn one. Wow. Really close there. Bit of contact between the two of them. And Martinez up on the curb. This is another replay. This time it's Craigie versus Martinez into the same portion of the circuit. There you see Martinez trying to go around the outside, gets off the rubbered in part of track, and that's where he loses out to Jack Eiler. Was right on the limit of adhesion for Schaufler. On the brakes down the inside, comes Dries van Langendonk, immediately retakes the lead at the next opportunity to turn one. Menz is going to go down the inside. Big move from the Briton for Ricky Flynn Motorsport, and it's worked. Costoya goes through as well. Arias is now challenging Schaufler. It's all gone wrong for the Austrian. 3 laps to go, 2.5 laps to go. This is Dries van Langendonk's best opportunity now. He's got to go hard and break away from the rest of them, leave them fighting for second place. Oh, it's down the inside, contact, and Lettimaki spins, and Schaufler retires both of them out. No points at all for the championship leader. Lettimaki is absolutely furious. That is the risk.
Two championship rivals side by side. Ovenden's got past Nicky Taylor, and now the sight that Alex Solly did not want to see this weekend. It started as an absolute disaster for Tom Ovenden, retiring on lap 1 of race 1. Now he finds himself side by side with Alex Solly heading towards Copse Corner. Harry Hickton's trying to make an overtake as well on Jack Byrne there, and I think he's pulled it off through Copse Corner. Side by side once again between Solly and Ovenden. Ovenden takes a hop across the curve.
Moved by Buckley on Mackie. I think they're resigned to fighting for the last spot on the podium. Can Benjamin Maniac get another home victory? He looks to the inside, and there's the near contact there. Through goes Benjamin Maniac. What a move through turn 4. By side, they're wheel banging through turn 12. It's still not done. One more corner to go. Pradir down the inside. Has he carried too much speed? He's got the control. Thomas Pradir's going to take it on the line, but here comes Maniac. Maniac on the line, and he takes it. Benjamin Maniac wins it with a classic at Swearer by 0.015. It's a home victory for the Spaniard, and he takes the lead in the championship. What a finish. It's not bad for either of them to the inside. Pritchard Williams, that's going to bring Hunter back into play. Connington back into play. Higgins, Lilly, McQueen, Bishop, Geraghty, Graham, Joshua Graham's back in this as well. That's down into Ashby. Teddy Pritchard Williams is trying to hold the ball up. Surely this is going to come to blows for someone. 3 wide. McQueen round the outside takes 4th place. That is experience. This is why he's been race winner in this race so many times, 3 times before. Can he find a way through? Back in comes Gilbert as well. Over the curb again, jumping over that curb. Huge amounts of it taken by...
Welcome back, everybody, to live coverage of round 3 of this year. Sorry, round 2, race 3 of round 2 for this year's Club 100 iRacing Championship. Here's your grid for the last race of the night. Kieran Harrison and Jack Eyre on row 1, Matt Kendall and Sam Sanders row 2, Henry Mackenzie Friedman and James de Havilland row 3, Josh Mitchell and Joel Julius on row 4, Adam Brown and Adam Delmont row 5, Finley Brunton and João Castro on row number 6. Engine notes rising. Do you think we're about to go racing once again for the 3rd and final time here tonight? And away we go indeed. Can anyone get the run on Kieran Harrison and keep the lead into turn number 1? Jack Eyre's got a great start, got across the front of Kieran Harrison's nose. Matt Kendall's down the inside of the race winner of all races so far this year. And yes, Eyre has been able to keep the lead through the first turn. How does Kieran Harrison play this now?
Does he take any risks? He's got 4 race wins so far this year. Jack Eyre getting the back end of the car, sliding around a lot at the moment. Is that a way of getting some heat into the tyres? Things looking a little bit calmer in the second half of the field. Quite a few drivers in trouble on the first lap of the second race. It's a good start for Jack Eyre. Kieran Harrison trying to draw up alongside. He has gone alongside and retaken the lead of the race. Brilliant stuff there from Kieran Harrison. Back to P1. Matt Kendall still there in third place. Kieran Harrison brushing a touch into the grass there. Remember with how the drop scores work as well. For Kieran Harrison to bank these points, he's got to go out there and get this race finished. Otherwise, the 2 race victories had so far tonight could all be for nothing. It could be a weaker score for Kieran Harrison across the course of the race evening. There is Sam Sanders. Sam Sanders, who of course had those problems in the second race on the first lap. This has been a better start for Sam Sanders. The trouble right now is he's tucked under the rear bumper of the Clapham North number 67 of Matt Kendall. Keep your comments coming in. Let us know who you're supporting tonight. There is Ollie Davies. Ollie Davies, who had problems in one of the earlier races. I think at the moment he's down in around 27th place. And look, from that view, you can just see how sopping wet the track is right now. That was a nice move from Ollie Davies down the inside of Craig Brown. Oh, round goes Cody Cosford. Cody Cosford, who had a good start to the night, just quite literally slipped away from him. Yusuf Bintahale and Sam Dimolo are both not running in this race. Josh Mitchell a touch wide there, but got it back under control by the time they exited 130R. Off the road in the background, that is Murray Adams. Returns to the circuit in 14th place. Change for the lead again. Kieran Harris. Oh, it's all getting a little bit tight in the middle there. Oh, and it's another lost front bumper for Sam Spinale, who may have wheel damage as well off the road. That was contact all involved. Can he get it into the pit lane? He's going to have to tow from there and hope it does tow him straight back into pit lane. What a shame for Sam Spinale. Yusuf Bintahale is in the race, but is down at the back of the field. Kieran Harrison was off there. Change for the lead. Change for the lead. Matt Kendall goes through into first position. Kieran Harrison wide through turn 1 into turn 2. Jack Eyre still looks like, as David Whitehouse says in the chat, looks like he's driving a World Rally Championship car at the moment. He's lost out to Adam Brown. Through goes Adam Brown in the Rethink Racing entry with the all black and white livery and the Dayglow yellow wheels. Both of them in the Clubman class. You can tell that with the blue roll cages. There's Henry Mackenzie Friedman, P6 at the moment. 4 minutes of this race gone. Unfortunately, we've had an audio connection issue, so Howard's not able to be with us at this moment, but he's still busily working away with all the buttons and the camera changes, doing a fantastic job, far better than I did at Silverstone. But here's your battle for the lead. Matt Kendall, back to where he was in the practice race at the start of the season, where it looked like Matt Kendall was going to be able to take the fight to Kieran Harrison. We haven't seen that so far this season. It's been very competitive, has consistently been up in the top 5, was second in both races at Silverstone 2 weeks ago. This is the first time we really get to see, oh, Sam Sanders has had a big slide there. He's going to return to the circuit, but has lost 1, possibly 2 places. But this will be a real test to see, can Kieran Harrison find his way past Matt Kendall. Very experienced driver in these cars in real life is Matt Kendall as well. This is the battle for 14th place. Adam State has had a really tough night as Adam State in these awful conditions. He's up the inside of Murray Adams and quite wisely just pulls out of that one. Murray Adams is going to run wide. And, oh, big catch of opposite lock for the Scotsman. Fantastic hold by the driver, the number 6, as here, and there's been a change for the lead. Kieran Harrison has got through past Matt Kendall. Adam Brown has just set the fastest lap of the race so far as we go on to lap number 3. Both nearly run a bit deep through turn number 1, side by side for 4th place as well between Sam Sanders and Jack Eyre. Trouble now for the likes of Kendall and Brown. Kieran Harrison has lost the lead at times so far in both races completed earlier on this evening, but each time he's got back into this position in the lead of the race. This is how the lead changed. So it was into 130R. It'll be Kieran Harrison on the inside and off the main racing line, which will have given him a little bit of an advantage. Does he keep it within track limits? Yes, he does. So that one will be absolutely fine. Oh, as who are we looking at there as out of things? A bit further down the order. Was it Sam Spinale back in the pits? Yes, I think it was. There's also been problems out there for Harrison Chapman. Oh, it's Kendall. Oh, Matt Kendall's had it off. Matt Kendall, previous race leader, it has been off. That looked to be through the S's and has now tumbled down the order. That is a big, big development in this race. He will be able to get back into the race, but a huge opportunity to take his first win of the season in one of these Club 100 iRacing races has gone. This is how it happened. Oh, was it a bit of netcode? Oh, it was a touch with Adam Brown. So it wasn't a mistake from Kendall. Now the question will be, was there contact between the 116 and the 67, or was it netcode? Here's your fight for second place. Kieran Harrison's gone. It's gone, disappeared up the road yet again. 3 seconds is his lead. Sam Sanders has got through into second place. Jack, you can hear the tyres being tortured there. Sam Sanders runs wide out of 130R. He's going to have to defend things into the Casio triangle. Going on to the 4th lap of this one. A little bit further down the order, Joel Julius running a nice race here. 7th place, just tucked under the rear bumper of James de Havilland. James de Havilland, who's of course gone up a class since the BUKC iRacing Trophy, was a clubman was an intermediate driver on his return to Club 100 iRacing action. Such was his strong performance across that 5-round series that he was promoted up to a clubman, and has shown tonight that he really, really is worthy of those blue colours. Should note, Mike Hart is a Premier. His livery is not legal, so we'll need to change that one for next time, as beautiful as it is. On board now with Murray Adams. Murray Adams, who's had a bit of a slip and a slide out there tonight. It's Adams State just ahead. Worth for these drivers continuing on and at least getting some points on the board, even those that haven't had a good night by their high standards. With it being round 1, oh, big catch again from Murray Adams. You never know with the way that the weather works. Oh, as Josh Mitchell is off the road going for some rallycross. That is an unintentional joker lap taken there by Josh Mitchell. Gets back on, but will fall down to 12th place. To come back to the points on how the scores are going to work across the course of the season, you never know how many of these MX5 races are going to be wet. It'll all depend on what the weather forecast throws out at 15 minutes before each session, so it prevents drivers from hot lapping and getting used to the specific conditions on the forecast. They've got to be ready for anything and everything that the iRacing weather system throws at them. This is a great scrap between Jack Eyre and Adam Brown. Henry Friedman, excuse me, just ahead in 3rd place.
Gap to the leader is steady, 3.6 seconds. Heading up towards 130R. Adam Brown trying to make his way through past Henry Mackenzie Friedman. That's going to get a little bit interesting. Right on the limit there was Adam Brown. Brilliant overtake back into third place. Into the Casio Triangle. That's how close it is tonight. The cameras merging into each other's cars. Bit of a slide there for Jack Eyre. He'll lose out to Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Rooster tails seem to be growing even larger than they were earlier on in the night. Look at the level of spray for the drivers out there. See, the 303 is in the middle of it all. That is Harrison Chapman running a lap down. As, off the road goes Jack Eyre. Henry Mackenzie Friedman nearly follows him, and in fact does follow him. They're both off the road. That's going to allow James de Havilland through. Jack Eyre back down the inside, holds on to fourth place. And then the two intermediate, I've got to say, two of the stars of the night have got to be Joel Julius and Finlay Brunton, who have clearly done a good amount of practice in the wet. As we say, the weather for each round is generated 15 minutes before the start of the session. The drivers were warned, though, with the potential forecast that it could have been wet. Several of the test regenerations of the weather, 50% of the time, there were wet conditions. And it's clear that some of the drivers have, whilst they've not been able to get it absolutely spot on with what the weather conditions were going to be, and I don't think anyone was going to expect the dry conditions at the start of the race or at the start of the practice session, then going into wet conditions. Clearly put a bit of time in to get used to the eventuality of it being wet tonight. Thoroughly deserve running up there in the top 10. You saw Harrison Chapman having a bit of an off through the Degners. I say a bit of an off, I think he just pulled off the road to allow the faster drivers through whilst he had the blue flags out. Battle for fifth, Jack Eyre getting the drift points in the book. Holding on to fourth place at the moment ahead of James de Havilland. Henry Mackenzie Friedman now back down to sixth place. Leaving to Steve Hicks in the chat, who tried to convince some of the drivers earlier that there was an intermediate tyre available for qualifying. You cheeky man. As, is that a bit of a wide moment for Jack Eyre? Yes, I think it was. He's going to come back onto the circuit, loses fourth place to James de Havilland. Henry Mackenzie Friedman's going to try and now go round the outside. Thinks better of it. Just holds back a bit. He's going to try and get a good launch out of the Casio Triangle. Jack Eyre's number 5. This fixed setup for everybody. Jack Eyre's rear axle looks to be all over the place at the moment. Friedman goes through, back up into 5th place. Looking out from behind. Jack Eyre again nearly loses it into turn 1. Runs wide. He's definitely going to be picking up 1Xs and the like with this. And it's great fun to watch. Just worry, is the risk level a little bit too high at the moment for Jack Eyre? It's allowing Joel Julius to close back in. Good to see that those top 2 in intermediate aren't the only ones in intermediate breaking up into the top 20. It's off, it's Sam Sanders! Sam Sanders is off! Is this a continuation of the problems for Sam Sanders in Club 100 iRacing from 2023? How many times did we see Sam Sanders in a strong position have things happen? And I think it was all on his own. He was losing time to Kieran Harrison and has now lost second place. That is a really, really bitter moment for Sam Sanders. Still running, but down in 12th place. This, well, I think was another incident for Sam Sanders a couple of corners later into Degner 1. Just about kept it going in the right way there, but Sam Sanders, well, that is surely now Kieran Harrison with another maximum score. 7.5 seconds clear of the rest of the field now. He is gone. He is proving once again he is the master of Club 100 iRacing. Still some questions over whether we'll see Kieran Harrison at every single round this year, which could give other drivers opportunities. Meanwhile, battle for 14th place. Door to door there between Tim Penny and Adam Delmont, two of the Clubman drivers. Tom Dix there in the 127. He's got the wrong coloured roll cage there, Tom. Should be blue. 16.5 minutes of this race gone. Drivers just trying to recover as many points as they can. Let's just go back to the intermediates running in the top 20 at the moment. It's side by side between Ollie Davies and Adam Delmont. They need to give each other a little bit more room than that. Through 130R, Delmont had it all out of shape, has somehow kept it under a level of control. Mighty close moment there. Davies goes around the outside into the Casio triangle, tries to get it stopped. A little bit of a touch there from Delmont, but nothing too dramatic. Tim Penny's going to have a go now at Adam Delmont's 177. Maybe try and get a bit of a draft off the back of those ahead. Tom Dix has had a good run. Tom Dix is going to move through past Delmont. Delmont loses 2 places, side by side, 3 wide. 3 wide into turn 1. This is somewhat going to work. Tom Dix goes for the big slide. I think that was all on his own. Into the gravel. One for the cameras. Adam Delmont's facing backwards as well, and is going to have a bit of a job getting out of there. Just about finds enough traction to return to the racing service. My goodness me, it is. And Tom Dix, I think, is out of the race. Tom Dix is in the pits. Meanwhile, Sam Sanders trying to pull his way back through. He's got back up to 11th place. He's now trying to challenge Josh Mitchell round the outside for P10. Where is the grip for Sam Sanders? He's just about found it down the inside, back up into the top 10. Next target will be Mike Hart there in 9th place. I am going to get this point in, you know, about intermediates running up in the top 20. We've now got a rookie in the top 20 again. John Adey, Dan Gamblin, James Fremont and Simon Delamere. Great to see them on the first page of timing and scoring. Here's your fight for 4th. James de Havilland holding off Jack Eyre at the moment by 0.4 of a second. On board now with Jack Eyre. He's on for a very good score here tonight. Out of Spoon once again. I'll tell you what, with the wet conditions as well, these 25-minute races absolutely fly by. Plenty of drama here at Suzuka tonight. If you want to get involved, there's still a couple of places available. Head to SimGrid. Link to the Club 100 SimGrid host page is down below. As we say that, Jack Eyre throws it off the road again. He's wide outside of 130R. Well, I tell you what, if we start a rallycross discipline in the Club 100 iRacing Championship, I think we know who our early favourite's going to be. It's going to be the driver of the number 5. So, if you want to get on the grid for the next race, we'll be back to the GT3s for round number 3. All entries for the whole season are taken through the MX5 page. The MX5 race page will open up as down the inside goes Adam State on Finley Brunton. That's for 7th place as this race finishes. So link to the Club 100 host page for all series is in the description below. If you then click on the MX5 rounds page, once the entries reopen after racing completes here tonight, get yourself on the grid. The 30th of October, the next race will be in the GT3s at Snetterton. As here's a little replay of Mike Hart. This a run too wide out of the final corner. No, I think Oh, he's lost it for a moment there. And then the next time we'll have an MX5 race will be in a month's time, 13th of November at Daytona. Another brilliant circuit for these cars. Here's a look further back in the field. Eric Mignon. Eric Mignon will score points tonight. Real shame for Adam Bliss, who just had a word over the chat that he had a black screen of death, or blue screen of death, some form of screen of death, whilst in 16th place. Adam State's had a problem. Adam State's been off. Rejoins in 9th place. Mike Hart has to take avoiding action there. Looking further up, this is how it happened for Adam State. Oh, I think there was contact there with Joel Julius, who was initially not showing on our screens, and then suddenly appeared next to Adam State. Difficult one to call, that. Fight still going on for 4th place. James de Havilland and Jack Eyre heading into 130R. Not that far behind Friedman and Brown still. 2nd and 3rd place in this race is not set yet. James de Havilland pops off our screen for a moment, but then reappears. 2 laps to go. Kieran Harrison, comfortable out front, knows he doesn't need to push right now, and is deliberately, I think, not setting personal, but saying that he's still in the 44s, whereas everybody else is in the 45s. This has been a very, very impressive start to the season for Kieran Harrison. I think even more impressive than his 2023 season. Showed from the start of the 2023 campaign that he had the speed, but sometimes just got involved in a few incidents here and there. You see it from drivers coming into series that are new from, as Jack Eyre's having a little look down the inside of James de Havilland. You often see it with the BUKC. Drivers step across, have experience in the National Series, the National Racing Championships, step into the world of the BUKC. The racing style's a little bit different. They have some issues. I think we saw that last year from Kieran Harrison. We've seen it from others as well, but he has really, really become a very efficient performer. Is there a problem for Tim Penny as well? That doesn't look to be a car that's going at full velocity. What's happened here? Oh, now that's a wild, wild moment for Tim Penny. What has happened there? That is a very strange incident with Ollie Davies. Very light touch for both of them. This was it again. Has he lost brakes? That is a very strange one. Very, very strange one for Tim Penny. I wonder if he's had some kind of hardware issue and tried to avoid Ollie Davies there, and unfortunately has made contact. Doesn't look like there's any damage to Ollie Davies in the 163. Some 24 seconds behind Murray Adams. Tim Penny is still running. So I wonder if it had been a brake issue, he probably would have come to a stop. And a bit of a wrestling match there between Finlay Brunton and Adam State, and Adam State's won it. Got down the inside. I tend to agree with David Whitehouse in the chat. We've not seen Adam State have issues like this before in the Club 100 iRacing Championship, but again, I think that's just a testament of how tough the conditions have been tonight. Jack Eyre has found a way through past James de Havilland for 4th place. I think there's some traffic up ahead. Yeah, Joel Julius is running wide. Joel Julius is running wide and into the wall. That's a big off. That is a big, big off for Joel Julius. Front end completely caved in. Thankfully, he didn't take anyone with him. I think Mike Hart was very close there. Let's have a look at how that happened. Gets on the grass. Gets on the grass, gets through the middle, into the wall. That is a real shame for Joel Julius out of this race, and it is a big risk on iRacing. You run a little bit wide off the racing surface onto the grasscrete.
onto the painted curbs. We saw this at Silverstone a lot as well in the practice race. Another example of where this circuit in particular, old school circuit, they often say it with Formula One, that it's one that's not giving, or doesn't give drivers much margin for error. We're on the last lap. We're on the last lap of the last race of an evening where I think a lot has been learnt for many of the drivers here in the Club 100 iRacing Championship. First time we've ever had wet conditions. It's delivered a lot of excitement for us at home as Finley Brunton nearly throws it off the road. Trying to bring home the win in intermediate on the last lap. Nearly meets the same fate that Sam Spinale did in race number 2. Sam Sanders will try and find his way past Mike Hart. There is Joel Julius. That's how much that incident has cost him. That crash has dropped him from a comfortable top 10 down to P20. Simon Delamaire's going to get a rookie win as well in this race. Don't think we've said that before. Great run from Simon in the 307. One of the most committed members of the iRacing club. I think he's going to get one of his best results in his Club 100 iRacing career. Really good to see. 27 minutes of this race gone. Into Spoon once again. Leader is coming into 130R now. There he is. Kieran Harrison is going to have won 5 from 5. Took the first 2 races of the season in the GT3s. He's just showboating now for us into the Casio Triangle for the final time tonight. Has had his challenges, had more challenges than he did in the GT3s at Silverstone, but he still comes out on top. Kieran Harrison wins for the second time this season, 2 from 2 in terms of round top scores. He will be on top of the league standing tonight as there's contact between James de Havilland and Jack Eyre through the Casio Triangle. Adam Brown, what a night. Second place in race 3 for Adam Brown. Third for Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Fourth for James de Havilland. Fifth for Jack Eyre. Adam State recovers to 6th place ahead of Sanders and Hart. Finley Brunton, what a drive tonight in these wet conditions. Wins again in intermediate. Josh Mitchell ahead of Murray Adams there to wrap out the top 10. And then we're just going to look. Oh, someone's got a bonnet completely up behind Joel Julius there. I think it was Matthew Davies. There's Simon Delamaire. What an effort from Simon Delamaire. He's going to come home, hopefully, in the top 20. Ollie Davies has had a problem. Look at that. Look at that for Matthew Davies behind. How can he even see where he's going? That is remarkable. I genuinely, I would love to know what. Look at this. He cannot see. 130 yards about. There, Matthew. Yeah, whoa, no, that's a bit wide. No, that's all going wrong. That's going to hit the wall. Of the things that we have seen here tonight, that's the best of them yet. Simon Delamaire is going to win in rookie. What a drive in the bright yellow 307. That is a huge haul of points for a rookie driver. Across the line, Tom Holland's going to be second of the rookies. Matthew Davies has got his lid down. Tom Holland's going to try and nip on by. Tom Holland, can he get in the top 20? Yes, I think he can. What a great drive from Tom Holland there, from Warwick University. Finishes in the top 20. Matthew Davies gets across the line P21. Matt Kendall P22. What a crazy way to finish the night's racing here at Suzuka. Let's take a look, if we can, or we will in a moment once everybody's over the line, at the final result. Well, what we can say for sure is Kieran Harrison is the dominant force once again in Club 100 iRacing. Even in the pouring rain here at Suzuka, he still emerges on top. I think we've still got 2 cars out there circulating. Matt Shawnee and Matt Hale. 24 cars will finish on the lead lap for this one. There is Matt Hale over the line. And indeed,
hopefully now we can have a look at the final result for that one. I say Kieran Harrison will lead. In fact, whilst we're doing that, whilst I think Howard's trying to find the button to press, let's get entries reopened. This is the bit that we'd like to do live on the feed for you. Because if there we go, we'll come back to that later. Kieran Harrison wins by 14.5 seconds ahead of Adam Brown. Henry Mackenzie Friedman P3, James de Havilland and Jack Hare in the top 5. Adam State, Sam Sanders and Mike Hart make it all Prems and Clubmans in the top 8. Finley Brunton, brilliant night, big haul of points. 9th, first of the intermediates home ahead of Josh Mitchell. Murray Adams P11, John Adey and Dan Gamblin were both in the top 3 of the intermediates in that race. Lawrence Vines and James Fremont complete the top 15. Simon Delamere, I think someone must have had a late penalty there. It sometimes happens on the last lap, gets dropped down away, but Simon Delamere, in the end, P16, brilliant result for the top rookie across the line. Joel Julius, 17th, good haul of points, could have been more. Obviously had that crash late on. Adrian Goodwin, P18. Further down the order into the top 20, Tom Holland and Adam Delmont both in the top 20. Matt Kendall, Matthew Shawnee, Matt Hale, all the Matts. The Matt division from 21st down to 24th ahead of Ollie Davies in 25th. Tim Penny, Tom Dix, Eric Mignon, Yusuf Bin Sahel and Aidan Bliss all classified in the top 30. We're into our retirees from that race now. Harrison Chapman, Joao Castro, Cody Cosford, Craig Brown, Sam Spinell and Sam Dimolo complete the runners in that one. But what a night of racing indeed. As we say, next round is in a few weeks' time, 3 weeks' time. We'll be back in the GT3s. We will be at Snetterton, new circuit for us. And it's a free one now, so it's a good opportunity for anyone who's wanted to give a bit of a dabble into the GT3s. Remember the rules for the GT3s if you're looking at getting involved. Obviously, if you get signed up, if you haven't already, or you haven't been with us for a while, we'll take you through the onboarding process that starts with sign up on SimGrid on the MX5 races, pay your entry fee, of course, and then it all goes from there. There are restrictions for the cars you can use, depending on which class. If you're Premier and Clubman, it's any of the current GT3s. If it's Intermediate, it's the Ferrari, the new Ferrari, or the BMW. If you are a rookie, it's just the Ferrari for you guys, which you should have anyway, because it's part of the Class D, the licensed D grade races on iRacing. But whilst I'm padding for time, whilst I'm trying to find the buttons, we'll tell you that the entries, as I say, through the MX5, because all the entries go through the MX5, are open now for the next round in the GT3s on the 30th of October. The next time we're in the MX5s, and you're perfectly obliged, you know, if you just want to do the MX5s, that's absolutely fine. 13th of November at Daytona for round number 4, where hopefully it will be decidedly less soggy than it's been tonight here at Suzuka. We're going to wrap up there. Thank you very much, everybody, for your support. Thank you for watching the stream, whether you've been live or watching back. As I say, round 3 in 3 weeks' time. We hope to see you there at Snetterton in the GT3s. My name's been Andrew Mather, on the keys, doing all the camera cuts and a little bit of the commentary as well when the audio connection was obliging, was Howard Mitchell. Do check out at the weekend, not this weekend, we've got a weekend off, my goodness me. But next weekend we'll be out in Italy for Rock Cup, FIA Motorsport Games coming up as well. And then also we've got more Club 100 commentaries in real life, of both finales of cadets and juniors and seniors at Bucknell Park. That's all to come. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again very, very soon. Do take care, and we'll see you next time for more action here at the Club 100 iRacing Championship.